Hey, so it's been a little while since I've done one of these videos. I haven't put much up. It's August 8th, 2026 in Arizona. And usually when the summer comes in, I don't do anything. Nobody does anything out here in the summer. It's hard to do videos because usually I got fans running, air conditioners. I got that stupid air thing in back of me, my emergency air conditioner. So when electricity goes out, so I just don't do videos in the summer. Plus I can't go shooting out at the outdoor range because BLM closes everything down due to the danger of fire, which is understandable. So pretty much shut everything down in the summer. Anyway, so what this video is about is I've been on my search for the perfect home defense weapon, and I'm not monetized, so I can talk like this. I don't know what the YouTube algorithm does if I say home defense weapon or shooting or guns or what, but I'm going to say that stuff anyway. But yeah, so I've been trying to find a perfect home defense weapon, and I'm going to give you the category. It's going to be a, let's just call it a barrel that's shorter than a rifle barrel, which is 16 inches, right? So that's the legal rifle size in the United States. So I'm talking about firearms that have a barrel length of less than 16 and let's say more than 5 or whatever. I can also call them 3-point weapons where you have 3 points or maybe 2 points, you know. Give you an example. This is 1 point, this is a 2nd point. If I put this up here, that's a 3rd point. So let's just classify that. So something like a pistol, like this is the Smith & Wesson M&P. Great self-defense gun, but we're not going to talk about pistols, right? Or that kind of a pistol. A standard, here's a Glock 17. So these are your standard carry pistols, whatever you want to call them. I guess we'll just throw it in that category, carry pistols. So these two, and they're great, perfect self-defense, home defense guns, right? But we're not going to talk about them. But if you do want to know, these are my two home defense pistols. I have a lot of pistols, and these are the two that I do use for home defense because I mean, they're Smith & Wesson and they're Glock, but also because I've ran them through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds into the thousands of rounds without any kind of issue, so I trust those two pistols. But what we're going to talk about more is, you know, things like the SMP5, right? So what I have is I have four weapons here, and they are 3 different calibers, so 2 of them are the same caliber, 9mm, and a 300 blackout and a 5.56. And I'm going to talk about what I like about each one, what I don't like about each one, and why I've decided on the one firearm here that I now use as my home defense go-to weapon, my bedside weapon, and it just meets everything that I was looking for, right? So let's start with the common 5.56, the 5.56 AR-15, right? So this is I believe this is a 13-inch barrel, and it's got the brace on it. It's not a stock, it's a brace, which makes it a pistol, right? So this is a 5.56 pistol, which is a rifle round, but it's a pistol, ATF rules. And it's got a EOTech halogen on it. Very capable weapon, and to be honest with you, as far as, you know, using it, it's the one I'm most familiar with, the one most people are familiar with, just the way, you know, you're going to operate it, and everything's where it's supposed to be on an AR-15. Perfect home, well, not perfect, but it's a really good home defense gun. Definitely if you're in a really big house or you're on a range, like a cattle range, or, you know, those people with really big houses that have that kind of money. Great gun. Problem is, I live in a suburb of Phoenix, and even though my house is slump block, which is pretty good, a 5.56 is still the idea of you know, if there's intruders, and lately there's been these like groups of people who are doing these home invasions. And so if you have to lay down, you know, just a rapid fire rounds towards a group of home invaders, you know, you stand a good chance of it going through your wall or your window. No, it's a slump block, but there's portions of the house that is just regular wood. And then of course you got your windows. So a 5.56 is going to travel pretty far. Now the one thing about a 5.56, a lot of people don't understand this, is they're disintegration rounds. As soon as they hit something, they pretty much disintegrate. Even if they hit soft, liquidy bodies, they disintegrate inside of them. They do a cavitation. Yeah, they turn into cavitation, which is a release of all the energy all at once, which really does all the damage in a 5.56. It'll cause organs and arteries and things like that to explode because the round is so small, but it's so high velocity. That's its thing. But also at that high velocity, it can travel pretty far. Great defense, but that 5.56 kind of makes me worried. Doesn't mean I haven't used this or put it near my bedside. It's just optimally, okay, it's a little powerful for that. Great gun. Let's go to the old one, the old grandfather here, S&P 5, which is the M&P, the civilian version of the M&P H&K. You know, it's got this old slap. Fun to play with. Of course, it's empty. We do a visual. Fun to play with, but I'm going to be honest about the slap thing. And a 9mm round, we'll talk about that in a second. But the slap thing, to be honest with you, even though it's cool, I don't find it very, like, tactfully, it's not great. It's really not. You actually have to have a sort of like, not a skill set, but a routine. You got to be used to doing it. And even though you can get used to it, I still don't like it. It doesn't feel very, I don't know. It's just like the way you do it, it's not smooth to me. I know it looks cool. It actually feels cool doing it. But in a situation where it's high tense and you got the blood running through you and you got this thing set up, unless you already got a charged round, which maybe you do that, just that slap thing just bothers me a little bit. Other than that, it's a great gun. It's a nearly perfect home defense. I mean, it's been around forever. It shoots flawlessly. It's very accurate. I got the hollow sun because I want to test the hollow sun sights. So far, I don't have any problems with the hollow sun. I didn't want one because it's Chinese, but you can definitely tell it's not the same quality, say the EOTechs or the Romeo 5 SIGs, but it's still pretty good. Nearly perfect. I just don't like that slap thing, even though it's, like I said, even though it's cool. Also, if you're done with your magazine, it doesn't come back. This is actually probably more than the slap thing. You actually have to get it in like that. You have to get it charged and then put the mag in and then do your slap again. To me, that's just that routine. I don't like it. And like I said, you have to really do it a lot to get that method going, and it's just not exactly what I'm looking for. I want something with more of ease and familiarity, because there is no other weapon you really do that slap with, right? So, all right, next one. This one really had a lot of. I had a lot of hope that this was going to be my home defense go-to, which is, this is the Sig Spear 300 Blackout, one of the most expensive guns here. They're all pretty, well, no, this is the most expensive gun. I take that back. All said, this is probably close to over $4,000. But yeah, this is the one that I thought I was gonna make my home defense. But I'm still going through the testing. I've had a couple of reliability issues with it, although it's been good in the last probably 1,000 rounds. I'd like to get another 1,000 rounds of blackout through it. It's finicky with bad ammo, or not bad ammo, but cheap ammo. All these other guns run cheap ammo like it's nothing. This one is finicky though, so you actually have to have a good name brand, high quality 300 blackout ammo for it to run really well. Other than that, it's a wonderful arm, right? I mean, I'm not gonna trash talk Sig. But I did when I first got it and found out it was my fault. I had to gas thing correctly. Since I gas it right, it shoots a lot better. But I'm still going through the testing. I do love the, the brace on here. This pull-out brace. It's definitely a good bag gun. I put this on the front because it does get very hot when you're. Because I've been putting a lot of rounds through it. But the Sig Spear, it's a beautiful looking gun. It feels good when you're shooting it. I would like to get a can, but I have a whole opinion on having a can for home defense. It's I can get into it, but just very simple right off the top. If somebody's doing a home invasion in my house and I'm firing back at them, I want the whole neighborhood to hear. I want everybody in my neighborhood to be on their phone calling the cops. Because say I get hit and I get and I'm down on the ground. I want to know the cops are coming, right? It's my house, I'm on the ground. If these guys get out, at least the cops are going to get there because everybody in the neighborhood heard a bunch of guns going off, right? So I'm not a big can person. Plus, I do believe there's an intimidation factor. If you're firing rounds at a adversary and they hear that big blast coming towards them, it's going to cause them to do your body anatomically does things automatically, like jerk and try to, take cover. And I want them to do that if they hear a big loud gun firing off at them. Listen, I know cans are cool. Everybody loves cans. It's the big thing. Everybody's out there with their cans. I'm just not a fan of cans. But great gun, great round, 300 blackout. You can get the hush rounds even without a can. They're still quieter than a full hypersonics. The downsides, like I said, I'm still running more and more rounds through this weapon. If I get like 2,000, 3,000 rounds and still no issues, then this is going to definitely be on that top tier. Okay, now this is the one that I decided is my go-to protection gun, and this is the Springfield KUNA. It's a 9mm. And it fits the bill. Everything I'm looking for. I have defensive rounds, about 20. I put 25. It holds 30. If you notice too, by the way, I paint my defensive magazine. So any magazine I have that's going to have defensive rounds, I actually put a little spray paint on there, so I know if I go shooting and I'm using target rounds. I always have my defensive rounds on the side, not to put target shooting in here, just in case you need to go to it. Here's for the Smith & Wesson, see a little paint on there. Just a little tip if you ever want to do that. So I keep my mags a little bit painted that are defensive. So the KUNA, why the KUNA? Not even a huge fan of Springfield. What it shoots great. Never had probably put 1,000, 1,500 rounds through it. Not a single problem with it. I'm not a hater of 9mm. I consider myself a fairly accurate shooter, and I put rounds where they need to go in order to for them to have their fullest effect. So I don't have an issue with the 9mm. The charging handle is non-reciprocating. When it's done shooting, it sticks back. I can put the next mag in. It's a great size. It's pretty light. It's very nimble, so inside of the house you can really maneuver around it. Like I said, 9mm round is perfect in a slump block. It's not going to make it outside the house. So I know it's a reliable gun. I've tested it. The 9mm is a good round, and I really do like the handle here on the side, the charging handle. I like the way that it sits back like this. Very easy to do that. If you have a mag in here, say you don't put the safety on, you just got the mag and you want to chamber around, real simple, just like that. You grab your gun and you hit this, and there's another one on this side too. So I like the way that it chambers. It's real simple. You don't have to think too much about it. And when you're all stressed out and reaching for something, unlike the SP5 where you gotta make sure you got it charged back and you got the mag, charge it back, put the mag in, release the thing, and then when you're done with that mag, got to charge it back. Too much. You're doing too much. This one is real simple. Get that mag in there, your first chamber, boom, 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 you're done. This is gonna be back. Again, you just click that. So I like the way it operates. It's got these little flip up sights, so I don't have to worry about putting, you know, manual irons on it. It's got, and I tried the irons. I went to the, when I first got it, I went in, my first shots were very accurate, right on, within an inch at about 20 feet, 25 feet. No, I actually went out to 40 feet and I was still hitting close to an inch, so really accurate. And then, so I got the Romeo, I think this is Romeo 5. It's around the same price as the EOTechs, but it's a nice little clean sight picture in there. Keeps it that thin profile. Yeah, so this is my new bedside gun. It's just, there's no downsides to it. I haven't found one yet. And it's just, it's got the high capacity. You know, I was gonna talk about the 12 gauge, the little short barrel 12 gauge. That thing only holds 5 rounds, you know. Here I got, you know, I only put 25 in there, but I could have potentially up to 30. Easy to operate. It's very familiar. The all the controls are very AR-15 like, so familiar with that. It has a nice thin profile on it, and it's nice and light. So yeah, this KUNA, Springfield KUNA, this is my go-to now until maybe when the 500 blackout on the Sig Spear shows me that it's really reliable. I might still consider that, but right now, honestly, when I switch between, I'll switch between that and the AR-15, right? Even though the 5.56 makes me a little nervous inside of a house with neighbors, I switch between these two. But yeah, so that's why I made my decision, and I think I have found the perfect bedside gun, which is the Springfield KUNA 9mm. If they come out with a 10mm, you know, that's even better. I might go get that. And it is super hot. And I think I'm gonna end the video there and drink some water and get a fan on and turn my little poor people's trailer air conditioner back there on. Even though I got my central air on. Arizona's a rough place, man. Thank you.